Let's start with our new chapter, the cell, the unit of life. Today we'll start from the class 11 biology. The chapter we start today is the cell, the unit of life. So what do you mean by cell? Or what is unit of life? What is life? Life is just an abstract. So you can say that life consists of the functions of various physiological and chemical processes of the cell, and an abstract which we cannot see the vital force, but there is presence of vital force which derives and drives the life. So the basic unit of cell is the basic unit of living organism is the cell. Means if you have to study a living organism, then you have to study a cell first. So in our NEET syllabus, so you are going to start with cell. So here comes. So what is cell? Cell is the fundamental and the basic unit. So let's write it. Cell is the fundamental and the basic unit. Fundamental and basic unit. And basic unit. Okay, so cell is fundamental and basic unit. Here it contains the structural unit. So structural unit of cell, the structural unit of cell. So functional unit of all living organism is cell, and so we are just drawing the structure of the cell. तो क्या है ये सेल का जो स्ट्रक्चर है ना, ऐसा मैं ड्रॉ कर रहा हूं. See, this is the basic. I'm just drawing a outline structure. This is called the cell wall. The outer structure is called a cell wall, and the inner structure that I am drawing now can be called as cell membrane. Cell membrane. Okay. So the outer structure is the cell wall, and the inner structure is called cell membrane. Okay. So in the middle of this structure, I am going to draw. I am going to draw a small circle. I will call it as nucleus. Okay. Nucleus is nothing but it's a brain of the cell. Okay, the brain of the cell. So in between the nucleus and the cell membrane, so this portion, this cross portion, I will call it as cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm. So what is cytoplasm? So it's a new term. What is cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is nothing but the space that is being occupied by between the nucleus and the cell membrane. Just read it as of now. I will elaborate cytoplasm in the later videos. Okay. So now I'm just going by the NCERT lines. Okay. Later I will describe every small things. Just now I'm giving a overview of the introduction of the cell. Okay, so this is nucleoplasm. Sorry, I have to change the ink. Okay, now comes nucleoplasm. So nucleoplasm plus the cytoplasm, nucleoplasm and cytoplasm, these two combines and make protoplasm. Okay, so now protoplasm and the cell membrane. So protoplasm and the cell membrane, protoplasm plus the cell membrane, these two combines and make what? Protoplast. There are several functions of protoplast. I will describe it later. Okay, so protoplast, what you can say as protoplast? What is protoplast? It is nothing but the cell without the cell wall. So what is protoplast? It is the cell without cell wall. Okay, so you can say cell can be derived in two structure, that is unicellular and multicellular. So what is unicellular and what is multicellular? Unicellular means the cell which contains only one cell, single cell only. Okay, single cell only. Basically, if organism contains a single cell, then you can say that organism is totally independent. Independent by what? Independent by nature, independent by reproduction, independent by gathering of foods, independent by locomotion. That means it doesn't require any help from any other organism. Okay, just like bacteria, blue-green algae, because blue-green algae generally have chlorophylls. So if they have chlorophylls, they can do the photosynthesis, and if they can do photosynthesis, you already know that basically the photosynthesis starts from the sunlight, and if they have chlorophyll, they can make their own food. Okay, so single cell only. And multicellular means consists of more than one cell. Okay, consists of more than one cell. Okay, completed till now? Okay, then here comes let me give some example. Example is amoeba, bacteria, amoeba and bacteria. Okay, you can say the unicellular as independent. By what? Independent because they can see. Just read what I am teaching. You will get to know the basics. If you get to know the basics, you can develop basic knowledge, because basic knowledge is very much required in the competitive examinations. Until and unless you gather the basic knowledge, then it is very hard to crack it. Okay, because they can perform essential functions of life. Okay, hashtag nutrition. Okay, so here it comes. Who has discovered cell? So now comes discovery of cell. So who has discovered cell? You already know that cell was being discovered by Robert Hooke. So Robert Hooke has discovered cell from where? He has discovered it from the dead cell of the cork. So because at that time when the cell was being discovered by Robert Hooke, at that time there is no development of such electronics or high power microscope. So he took a cork cell. The cell of the cork is quite big, and developed a simple microscope, and have seen it that the cork is made up of small segment like particles. He called it as cell. Okay, so discovered from dead cork cell. Okay, So and living cell was discovered by Anton van Leeuwenhoek. So it was discovered by Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Now the nucleus, that is the brain of the cell. The brain of the cell, that is the nucleus was discovered by, the nucleus. The nucleus was being discovered by Robert Brown. Okay. So discovered by Robert Brown. That is what Robert Brown has discovered, the nucleus of the cell. Okay. So now cell. First let us call up the matter in a gist. Cell first discovered by Robert Hooke. Okay, from dead cork protoplasm. See, every student is studying. So what you get to know, the more the concepts you get to build, the more the basic depth you get to build by now, it will be very much beneficial for you to gather the knowledge and to put it out in the examination. Okay, so let us make the basics. Okay, so first living cell. Who? Leeuwenhoek. Nucleus Robert Brown. In which year? 1831. I can call up that in year 2020 or 2021 probably a question came from a principle of inheritance, in which year basically Mendel got the experiment of principle of inheritance. In which year? Probably it was between 1859 to 1862. So that year was asked. Okay, so you try to remember the years. Cell theory. Okay, cell theory. What is a cell theory? So let us make it this topic. Cell theory. Who has given it? Cell theory. Who has given it? Cell theory. Formulated by Schleiden and Swan. SCHLI, Schleiden and Swan. Okay, so Schleiden and Swan has developed the cell theory. Okay, who was Schleiden? Question may come from this small ignoring things, because it's an examination just to remove you out from the competition, not to take the admission. ठीक है, तो इतने सारे लोग एग्जामिनेशन में अपियर कर रहा है और आपको सिलेक्शन लेना है, तो आपको वो करना है जो बाकी लोग नहीं कर रहा है. ठीक है ना, तो you have to do it. So who was Schleiden? Is a German botanist. And who was Swan? As a British zoologist. Okay, so Schleiden discovered it on 1838 AD. Okay, so he studied as he was a botanist, he studied in a large variety of plants. So what he studied, that how did the cell came, where the cell takes the birth. So he get to know that cell. Okay, let me write. Study studied a large number of plants. Okay, studied a large number of plants composed of cells. So what happens? A large number of cells accumulates together to form a tissues. So, and large number of tissues accumulates together to form organs. Actually, the organs in higher organisms perform all body functions, and most of the functions are performed by the organs in higher organisms. In lower organisms, there is no such things like organs. They do it in a basic, very much simple way. Okay, composed of cells, and cells accumulates together as tissues. Tissues together forms organs. Okay, so here comes from the Sladen and Swan. What did Swan did? Swan in 1839, as Swan was zoologist, so he studied over huge number of animals. Okay, animals, and what they both find. They have studied on a large number of species between the plants and the animals. So what did they find? They find that animals covered thin layer, that is, he called it as plasma membrane. And what did the cells of plants covered with cell wall. It is a unique character. Okay, so they gave the hypothesis as hypo. So what did they both give the hypothesis? That the plants and animals both are made up of cell. But what is the difference? The plant cells have unique feature, cell wall, whereas animal cells does not have it. Okay, animal cells doesn't have it. So what was the drawback? So what is the drawback? Do you know why the antibiotics doesn't perform over viral infections in COVID-19? If it was a bacterial infection, then I think this massacre didn't happen, because in viruses the antibiotics don't play any role, because viruses outside the culture dish or outside the body, outside the host body, it doesn't show any signs of life. Because what is antibiotics? Anti means opposite, or anti means opposite. Okay, take it as anti means opposite, and biotics mean life. That is called opposite of life. That is, if it has life, the antibiotics will work on it. If the bacteria have the life, bacteria have nucleus, bacteria have everything, then it can be killed with antibiotics. But as the viruses doesn't show any sign of life outside the host body or host organism or outside the petri dish, they cannot be killed with antibiotics. So antibiotics do not have any role in viral infections. So drawback was how new cells formed cannot be explained by them. ओके, न्यू सेल कैसे बनता वो इस लोग ने एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाया. तो एंड वायरसेस सच एज एंड वायरसेस, हाउ viruses reproduce was not been able to explain. ओके, तो वायरस कैसे रिप्रोड्यूस करता वो भी इन लोगों ने नहीं एक्सप्लेन कर पाया. और जो वायरस का जो सेल स्ट्रक्चर है और वो कैसे जिंदा रहता है ये भी उन लोग ने एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाया. तो आया फिर उसके बाद रुडोल्फ विर्चो क्या बोला? रुडोल्फ विर्चो in the year 1855 उसने सेल थ्योरी का फाइनल शेप दिया. फाइनल शेप क्या बोला उन्होंने बोला कि omnis cellula e cellula. What does this omnicellula and ecellula means? It means cell arise from the division of the pre-existing cell. That means a pre-existing cell must be there. From there, the new cell will start to reproduce. Okay, so cells derive from pre-existing cells. अगर आपके पास सेल है पहले से ही तो ही सेल नया बनेगा, नहीं तो नहीं बनेगा. पहले आपके पास सेल होना चाहिए और उसके बाद ही सेल आपको बनेगा, नया सेल रिप्रोड्यूस कर पाएंगे. ठीक है, ओके. सो नाउ गिव द टॉपिक एज सेल. Give the topic as okay, cell. Encircle it. Okay, so cell can be of animal cell. Cell can be of animal cell, and cell can be of plant cell. Okay, cell can be of animal cell and plant cell. Animal cell I can take onion cell, and plant cell you can check as human chick cell. See, I am going by line from the NCERT rationalized syllabus. I am going by NCERT. I am not overlooking or not jumping any paragraphs, any topic from the NCERT. I am going just line by line. Okay, in animal cell you can see the cell wall was absent. Okay, now comes let us draw a structure. Let us consider as a cell. Okay, I can do it. Okay, I've drawn it. I am giving a inner boundary as well. Okay, so what is the inner boundary called? Inner boundary is called as cell membrane, and the outer boundary is the cell wall. Okay, the outer boundary is called the cell wall and the inner boundary is called the cell membrane. So these two are generally called as, that is, cell wall and cell membrane are both delimiting layer. Okay, if someone asks you, but if the examination asks you that what is the shape of the cell, basically the shape of the cell generally depends on what the physiological or what the function the cell is performing. It depends on the function of the cell, that is, the cell is performing. Okay, so now comes the, okay, I'm drawing another structure. Okay, take it as okay. Okay. Okay, let me draw the chromosome. Okay, this is the outer layer, okay, and this is the inner layer. This is the outer layer, this is the inner layer, this is the nucleolus. This can be said as nucleoplasm. Nucleolus, and these are the chromosomes. What do you mean by chromosome? Chromosome, I will explain it later in my videos. And the chromosome are what? Nothing. Chromo means color. They are the colored substances which contains the genetic information. Colored substances that contains the genetic information are previously called as chromosomes. Okay, so now eukaryotic chromosome. Keep the heading as eukaryotic chromosome. Eukaryotic chromosome. Okay, eukaryotic chromosome. Okay, eukaryotic chromosome. So what is eukaryotic chromosome? Let me draw a thing. Let me draw it first. Okay, so its nucleus is considered as 10 to the power minus 6. Okay, and the DNA is 2.2 meter. Okay, it is double stranded DNA. Both double stranded DNA, both circular and linear. Okay, it contains the genetic material. it's very important, contains the genetic material. So if the question arises where is the genetic material resides inside the cell, you have to say it at chromosome. Okay, chromosome contains non-histone proteins which are acidic in nature. Okay, non-histone proteins are acidic in nature. Generally maximum proteins are acidic in nature. Contains non-histone protein. It is acidic in nature. Okay, now comes the contains the RNA. Very small amount of RNA is also present. Do you know RNA also contains a thymine group? Which RNA contains the thymine group? Do search it and write the comment below in the description box. I will say the answer if you can't in the next videos. Okay, now comes prokaryotic nucleus. Give the heading as prokaryotic nucleus. Prokaryotic nucleus. Okay, what is prokaryotic nucleus? So from the term you already came to know that the nucleus which is already in prokaryotic cell, you can call it as prokaryotic nucleus. Okay, so what does the prokaryotic nucleus takes? See, I am giving the notes in very short manner. If you take out the notes, if you read the notes, you will get to know that every point in the NCERT is being taught. Okay, so nuclear membrane, nucleus, well-defined nucleus. These all are absent. Everything is absent in prokaryotic. False nucleus, basically it is false nucleus. Okay, see, if I draw a structure like this, which color I should take? Okay, I've drawn it. Don't go for my art because I am not a drawing teacher. I am just trying to teach the basics of a cell, which will be very much useful in your NEET's examination. Okay, this is the cytoplasm. Okay, it contains single double-stranded circular naked DNA. Okay, and the non-histone proteins and non-histone proteins. So the prokaryotic nucleus generally have single double-stranded circular naked DNA and non-histone proteins. Okay, so what is naked DNA? In naked DNA, histone proteins are absent. Histone proteins absent. in naked DNA, the histone proteins are absent. Okay, DNA not covered by any nuclear membrane. DNA, as it is naked, it is not covered by any nuclear membrane. Is not covered by any nuclear membrane. Okay, but present in cytoplasm. Presence of cytoplasm is there. Cytoplasm present, but cytoplasm is present. Okay. Okay, write one thing. So they have DNA, they have non-histone protein, they have RNA. Okay, these are all false chromosome. They can be said as false chromosome. Okay, they can be said as false chromosome. Okay, for today, let us conclude at this point. So what have we studied? What we have read? I'll upload the PDF in the description, and you will get the PDF link there. And I will put out the next videos I will start it from the cytoplasm in the next videos, and just get it through. And if you have any doubt, put it out on the comment box. I will try to solve it. Okay, thank you, and let us see each other in the next video. Thank you.